Cheat Code.
Hey everyone, welcome to Pickleball Cheat Code, the show for competitive pickleball players who want to level up their game. We focus on advanced strategies for experienced players, stuff only the pros really know. I'm Brodie Smith, a 5.5 plus level player and a coach, and I'm here with the man himself, Mr. Tanner Tomasi.
What's up, everyone?
Today we're covering everything you need to know on how to turn defense into offense and to stop playing scared. At the end of the episode, we'll be chatting about our ideal international pickleball destination. And if we've done anything to improve your game, share the show with your pickleball community. All right, Tanner. This is something here that we're going to be chatting about that I really think only 5.0 plus, 5.5 plus level players truly have in their game. That's the ability to turn defense into offense. It's also why I'm wearing my Seattle Seahawks shirt today. We're rolling right now, by the way. Are you an NFL guy at all? Do you watch Seahawks?
I don't follow it too much.
Oh, brother. Shout out to...
Do you play fantasy football?
Of course.
Yeah,
Big
everybody
time.
plays that.
You don't play fantasy?
No, I don't watch it. I don't know.
Oh, God. I'll get you into it next year. Reason why, Seahawks, I'm a diehard fan. This is probably completely irrelevant. 2014 Super Bowl. We won from our defense. We turned defense into offense, which is what a successful sports team does, an athlete, and it relates directly to pickleball. Being able to have those building blocks as a defensive player allows you to succeed on the offensive side. You can't succeed on offense in pickleball unless you are a strong defender. You're able to transition, be consistent, yada, yada. It's one of the most important parts of the game. So, and the key to all this too, that we're really going to be breaking down throughout this episode, when we're talking about making that transition into stop playing scared as well, is momentum control in a match, court positioning, mindset, and then counter-attacking patterns, which are all very, very valuable parts of pickleball. So those are the keys. Tanner, my question for you, like when you're coaching, you're trying to help people develop their game and really take their game to the next level. How do you get them to stop playing scared? And what does a scared player look like to you?
Ooh. I would say, how do I get somebody to stop playing scared?
Stop playing scared. You see them making nervous decisions.
Yeah, I would say like when the opportunity presents itself, to take advantage of it. Like if you earn the pop-up, you can't wait for another window of opportunity. You need to take that one because as you keep leveling up, the gaps get smaller and smaller.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's key. And then it's some of the things in general, like how I would define a scared player is somebody that's over dinking. So like you said, not taking advantage of those pop-ups that they see. They're just blindly dinking away. They're not leaning into the kitchen. They're not looking for their openings. Exactly what you just said. So essentially they're playing a little bit too off the line. They're not really leaning in and having that aggressive dominant court positioning within the kitchen. That's one of the most common things. And then popping up balls with hesitation in their game. And then not playing with confidence. And they're just like, they're not playing loose. People that aren't confident and maybe they go on like a high level court, they're on a 3-5 court, they start playing with the 4-0s. They're on a 4-0 court starting to play with the 5-0s. Those people are always playing scared. It's a mental shift that they need to have. So what advice do you have for players to get out of this funk, get over the hump from being too tight and to stop playing scared and to play a little bit more loose? Like what's your advice for those players that are making those transitions? Maybe it's a big tournament or like I said, going on to a more advanced court.
Yeah, I would say that probably realize that the opponents are just as nervous as you. So if you can kind of use that to your favor, where if you're endlessly just dinking, you're never really putting pressure on the opponents. Whereas if you like do some unconventional speed ups or speed up when they're there or drive or whatever, then like the pressure's on the opponent to handle it. So if they're just as nervous, like they might break under the tension. Whereas if you never make them like feel pressure, they're going to seem like superstars because you're not really putting them in an issue you're never putting them in a position to make a mistake, you know?
Yeah. So like, let's say when you were developing your game, working your way to where you are now to this, 6.0 plus level, superstar Tanner, but you weren't always superstar Tanner, you're kind of mediocre Tanner for a while, right? So let's say in those matches, like looking back, people were putting the gas on you, the pressure on you in a match. Maybe you were the target. I'm sure you were at some point. We've all been there many times where people are trying to pick on you, all the balls are coming your way. How do you handle that pressure? And like, what are your focuses when you are under pressure? Are you like, what's your goal? Are you looking to buy time? Are you looking just to kind of reset everything? Are you looking to counter?
Yeah.
What's your mindset?
If I'm getting hit like every ball, I'll make sure I don't make any mistakes, because if you do make mistakes, and they're just going to continue hitting you every ball, like the rest of the game, or until you prove otherwise. So I make sure I'm just like extremely consistent, solid, try to take control and dominate in the cross court rally, just to like kind of make the other opponent that's cross court from me bail out, like to almost like have the edge and like show like I'm comfortable. So like they should try something different. But if they are hitting every ball to you, I just make sure I try to dink middle, make no mistakes. I'm not looking to speed up unless it's high. Then I'm always looking to speed up. But definitely if I'm the target, nothing off the bounce, because I don't want to show that I'm going to be impatient, because then they're just going to hit more balls to you.
What if you get a dead dink though and it's a little juicy? You want to put something on it. Are you still going to go for the consistent shot in that moment? Or are you going to apply a little pressure?
Yeah, in that case, I would probably just like hold the dink and then dink it really aggressively. That's been what I've been doing recently, and has been helping out a ton and been getting me a lot of pop-ups and just.
Yeah, I think that's an important distinction, is how to handle dead dinks for making this transition of becoming more offensive player and having once you have that defense set, is how do you handle dead dinks off the bounce? Obviously if it's out of the air and you get something that's high enough, we're going to try to put some pressure and flick it. However, a lot of people look at dead dinks differently. Some people are always trying to speed them up. Some people are always trying to apply angles and apply pressure that way. Me personally, I'm only speeding up off the bounce if I see somebody's positioning is off. Like if I notice their paddle angle is in the wrong spot, or maybe their tendency is a backhand counter. Every single time, I know I can get them if I go forehand side. Little things like that. However, if I get something off the bounce, I'm always looking for angles and dink pressure. I'm going to do outside heavy rolls, inside foot target pressure, put some bait balls out there. That's me. Is that kind of the same philosophy that you take with those dead dinks in general?
Yeah, I would say so. It's good to apply pressure, but if the opportunity is like so obvious, you need to take advantage of it. But if you're not 100% certain, I would just hit an aggressive dink or whatever, try to set it up for later in the match, or to just hit that aggressive dink to get a pop-up on the next one.
Yep. And then another question too is, we talked about the importance of getting those defensive layers of your game set, like I was referring to earlier, of being able to properly transition. Obviously, you got to be able to make your resets. You got to be able to be a consistent player. Once you get those layers in your game added, how do you focus on making that transition to, like, when you're becoming from 5-0 to working your way to 6-0? Like, you had to add those offensive layers. So what were the ways to start churning defense into offense within your matches to really make that shift on momentum and match control?
I think the main thing to go from 5-0 to 6-0, people might think it's like these flashy shots or this or that, but really it's just recognition on when to do it, on which specific balls. Yeah. So for instance, if you're like a 4-0 trying to get better, like you haven't gotten enough reps to know what's right and what's wrong. Whereas like when you're a 5-0 trying to get to a 6-0, like you've hit enough shots where your brain's still not there entirely on what's the right shots to attack and not. But then eventually when you get to that 6-0, like I feel like I'm at the level where I'm still struggling with it, but I feel like I'm the best I've ever been at it. But it's the proper recognition on what to do when. I think that's the biggest separator in skill. And that's where people struggle with the most. Like people at 3-0, they're speeding up everything, because they're uncomfortable dinking. People at 4-0, maybe a little less. People at 5-0, they're starting to put it together, but like they still make the wrong decisions. Say like at 6-0, like you're just making the right decisions more often than not because you've seen so many reps. Like I've done a million drills. I know that when they hit the ball like this, it's coming in with backspin. I can't speed that one up. But somebody that's a 4-0 that hasn't done it 1,000 times is just going to think every ball looks good,
So more time on the court with better players is kind of what it all comes down to per se.
More reps,
Just reps. How many hours a week are you on the court?
I play every day, 2 hours minimum.
Minimum. So, what's your average? 3?
I'd say like 2 sessions, hour and a half each. Yeah. So 3.
On that same note, how do you know when people are applying pressure at you as well? This is kind of the same vein of defense to offense, is you're getting a lot of pressure at you and speed ups at the kitchen. How do you know when to reset a speed up versus when to counter and put force into it? Is it just kind of like based off balance and where the ball lands? Like if it's out wide, you're going to kind of reset middle in your balance, or you're just going to push it back? Like when are you kicking off those firefights versus just neutralizing?
I think like last year in 2024, everybody Like there was a lot more a lot more resetting. Now I think like if somebody speeds up in 2025, it almost always gets countered as opposed to reset. The only time that I would reset is like if I'm in like a hands battle with somebody, like bam, bam, back and forth, and then they get one to like my knees or something, then like just instinctually, I'm going to like just reset it, cause I don't want to attack from below the height of the net when it's an ongoing firefight. But other than that, like if I'm caught off guard, I'll try to reset. Like some things I'll pick up from like these great players, like just when they play. If you speed up a ball at them and like they're expecting it one spot and you hit it somewhere else, they'll reset it, because they're caught off guard, so they can kind of get to it just to get their paddle on it. But then they're going to counter it if they can read which side it's coming to.
So it just comes down to anticipation for the most part, per se.
Yeah.
How
are you ready? Are you expecting it?
Then what are some ways to work on that anticipation? Are you like tracking the ball location and just predicting like, okay, I mean, for me, my Scorpions, I'm always paddle up every single time the ball is below the net. So that's something that I do for anticipations for my counters. What do you do for other counters? Maybe for somebody that's going to hit an aggressive roll, for example, or they're going to be, speeding up out of your body. Like, what are the tells that you're looking for there?
I think the first thing is if like somebody has a dead dink and I know they're going to speed it up, you want to have time to react. So I'm going to take a step back, but besides that, I'm going to favor like, where's the most common spot? Probably like my chicken wing. So like in my brain, I'm going to be thinking like, my first instinct is always going to be like, my brain's looking for that, and I have a pretty quick like backhand punch at my body. So like, if it's not coming to my chicken wing, I could naturally just react without thinking to it right in my chest. But if it is coming to like my chicken wing, I'd say like I'm giving like, I don't know, 10% of my brain, like waiting on that shot, besides that, another thing I can do is like, say they have a dead dink out wide that they're going to speed up. Like say it's like right down the sideline. What I'll do is like right before they hit the ball, I'll step over and put my body right in front of the ball. So I don't have to guess forehand, backhand, and then my partner can cover the other side. And then that's probably the most effective.
Yeah, as long as you trust your partner to cover middle, which they should.
You got to trust them. Yep.
Yeah. And then you mentioned a good thing as well as a very important thing that separates high-level players too of making that defensive to offensive transition is knowing when to play off the line and then when to play forward. That balance, you can't just do one or the other. There's a time and place for either, and it depends on your court positioning too, maybe right side or left side. But if you're playing against somebody that's always looking to bring the heat, adding some flair, being really fancy, and they're not really hitting that many dinks that are kind of landing in the deep part of the kitchen, like pressurized dinks, play off the line. I take a step back all the time. My counters are so much easier. And then from there, I don't have to worry about like resetting the counter necessarily. I'm going to clap back on those. So I think that's a really important tip. And then the other thing too, I swear the best players know how to dink out of the air effectively. I mean, that's one of the biggest separators of being defensive and offensive at the exact same time. I know somebody isn't scared when they're playing forward in the kitchen and they're just fishing balls out of the air. I mean, like we talked about before, you do have to worry about a lob, but that's, I feel like, a more of a super high level concern for somebody taking advantage of that moment. However, being able to be dominant, show your presence is so important because when you're dinking out of the air, the shots that you're hitting that I'm putting angles on and applying pressure to you, it's a defensive shot, but it's also offensive at the same time. And it's so easy. People think that when you're dinking out of the air that you need to like do these rolls and like hit these fancy angles. It's like, no, you literally just put the paddle out there, let the paddle do the work, let your legs and butt do the work, and just move people. You can move people and dictate a point without even moving your body. You can just sit there and poke people around. It's just so underlooked. And then if you feel like you're doing that too much, step off a little bit and you can kind of dictate the momentum and the pace of a match really effectively by knowing when to step off and when to step forward. Are there certain players that you're playing against where you're off the line a lot versus on the line? Like, is it kind of match dependent?
I think just like if the person is likely to attack a lot, then I'll step back more. If my partner is more of a passive dinker, I'll step back more. Like it depends on who I'm playing with. Do they have weapons? Like for instance, I played Kyle Kazuta this past weekend. in the semifinals of the APP. I know he doesn't really roll the backhand with two hands much. He only like slices, so he's not really a threat if it bounces to his backhand usually, So for that instance, I'm going to stand on the line because as long as he doesn't hit a flick, like I'm safe because there's not going to be much off the bounce off the backhand side. And like I'll just like look at those tendencies for players. Like, do they have two hands? If they have a two-handed dink, they probably can attack off the bounce. So you have to be more cautious. If they only have a one-hander, they can't really attack off the bounce. So then you can lean in, especially when the ball bounces. Like somebody like my partner, Richard, he does a lot with the two hands. So if I'm playing against him, I would take a step back off the line because I know if it bounces out wide, he's probably going to speed it up.
Gotcha. So there's a difference then clearly between the players that take it out of the air versus people taking it off the balance in terms of how you are stepping back and stepping forward? Or is it the same? Like, what's the distinction there, do you think?
I would say you always want to be taking balls out of the air. And the reason is because then you're not going to let any opportunities go by. Meaning if you're taking balls out of the air, or if you're looking for balls to like roll off the bounce with two hands, like hit aggressive dinks on, then there's going to be missed opportunities. That's like the big dilemma right now with the two-handed backhand. Well, if you roll the two-handed backhand, then you're going to miss opportunities to flick because you're looking for the two-hander, and vice versa. So I think your default should be look to get balls out of the air. Reach always, like you said, just reach. You can hit dead dinks out of the air reaching. But if they get it to bounce, you can roll a backhand, whatever, or slice it, but instantly look to reach. Your default should be look to reach. Your second should be like roll the dink. Unless they're hitting them super shallow that you can't reach them out of the air, that's a tendency. Then you can just start rolling more to earn the pop-up.
I'm still working on my roll, dude. I haven't had a lot of time since I've been traveling to really drill on it, but my backhand roll is getting better. And something that I did recently, I think it was a video from you. I forgot who.
Side spin?
Well, no, that was beyond helpful. I'm just talking about like being able to grind out at a high level consistently. Like I can roll it now way better and I can do it properly now. Cause like I said, I used to be just trying to roll it over the ball like that. But the side spin tip has been unbelievable. But the other thing that maybe you mentioned it, but I didn't pick up on it until recently is having the paddle angle stay upwards. I'm not I'm keeping the paddle above my wrists. I know we're transitioning to backhand rolls here, but I think it relates directly. But having that paddle stay up every single time you dink it, I would notice last time I was playing or like a couple weeks ago, my paddle tip was down and I was trying to shovel it more while still wrapping around it. But once I put that paddle face up and I try to come up under it, it changed everything. So random plug there. Keep your paddle above your wrist when you're hitting those shots. I can't wait to dial that in though. I'm still like, once I get settled in LA, I'm going to lock it in and then you're cooked when you play skinnies like we just talked about last episode. But that's a different conversation. Cool. So what are some common mistakes that you see for players that are trying to apply more pressure, and then when they're working on building that defensive layer in their game? I mean, for one thing that I see the most common is players are attacking way too soon. Like they're not working on the consistency the most, and they're also attacking off balance when people try to hit a speed up or like out of the air put away. People are missing these shots left and right because they're not rock solid and set. What are some other mistakes that you see when people are looking to switch the game in the momentum of a match from defense to offense?
I think people usually go like to the extremes, like, oh, we need to be more offensive. Oh, we need to be more passive. And they go from attacking balls to not attacking balls. Like there's no in between. You have to build and construct the point and know the right ones to attack. Like for instance, if I'm dinking cross court with my opponent and I'm able to get like a nice aggressive one out wide, I'm going to step over the center line, lean into the kitchen and anticipate a high ball back that I can attack. Whereas like an amateur player, they'll hit a great aggressive dink out wide, then they just watch it and then the opponent bails out to the middle and then there's nothing there to capitalize. So it's kind of like this never ending cycle of just like you get the advantage, you lose it. Advantage, neutral, advantage, neutral, advantage, neutral. So I like it's been the theme of the whole episode. It's like just the ball recognition from doing the drills, knowing when I do this, then that happens usually, and if that doesn't work, I can keep working that until I get that,
You always got to be thinking one step ahead of like, I hit this ball, what is likely going to happen next? And the smartest players are able to know that and see like, okay, ball's probably coming middle speed up here. If not, they're probably pulling out wide. So I'll be planted here, ready for the middle speed up. But as soon as I notice that dink's going out wide, I'm ready to push off my right leg and then go plant on my left leg. Like, those are the little differences of what you are thinking of with these, when you're trying to become a higher and higher level player. So you got to be smart. Always think about like why you missed that shot. Ask yourself these questions over and over. And there's you got to really break down the game. There's so many layers to it, which is why I love the sport so much. It's a lot of chess, which is the beauty of it. Okay, cool. So another common mistake that I see too is players will be like backpedaling or losing their balance when they're in a firefight. So maybe they're engaging, finally starting to apply some offense in their game, and they're playing defensive and they're trying to turn up the jets a little bit and apply that heat. But when they get in these firefights and these hands battles, they lose balance. They're like standing up too tall, right? That's one thing. And then like they're not relaxed. Like we always talk about J.W. Johnson, who looks like he's taking a nap. No matter how fast the ball's coming at him, he doesn't care. That's the mentality that players need to have. It's a freaking wiffle ball. It's not going to hurt you that bad. It's going to be a little sting if it rips at you. But stay calm, stay cool. What are your tips for people when they get in these hands battles and they need to be able to counter properly and reapply that pressure back on their, opponents?
Yeah, step one is you want to have a completely still base. So you don't want to be walking around at all having happy feet. You actually want your feet to be like cemented in and only use your hand or your arm to react. This way you'll be reacting the quickest.
Like, do you move your feet at all when you get in a hands battle? Like, they're literally set no matter what?
Just set, yeah.
What about if a ball comes a little wide? Are you taking a little step out wide, or are you just reaching your arm for the most part and just kind of
I'll take a step out wide and hit the two-hander. Okay. But for the most part, like the ball comes like right to you. The second thing is you don't want to move your head around. So a lot of people are like bobbing up and down. You want to like pretend you have like, I don't know, a bucket of water on your head. You don't want to spill the bucket. Just be completely stable and still and only use that arm to react. The second thing is you want to take short strokes to be ready for the next ball and to protect yourself. If you hit this massive big swing and then the ball comes back, you can't really protect yourself, or you're just going to lose the point. Where it's like if you just hit and reload and you're ready for that next ball constantly, you're always going to be just ready. No matter how long the firefight is, you're ready to rock. Yeah. So I'd say those are the three main things. The last thing is you want to prioritize hitting the ball down as opposed to out. So a lot of people are like trying to blow a hole through their opponent's chest. But the whole thing that people I think miss at the 4.0 level is fast hands. It's just a fight for who can get the ball down first. So if you go at my chest, I'm going to be able to get it down to your knees. If I go at your chest, you're going to go down to my knees. And if we're like two amateurs, whatever, we're just firing off at each other's chest. It's just like whoever is just late to react first. But like what the pros are doing is they're trying to hit that ball down.
Smart. Yeah, I feel like that's what you do best. And you're not even just ripping the ball. You're just putting it down. And then no matter what, that next ball, it's coming with some pace. And it's like, what do I do? Do I reset it? Do I just blindly hit it back? I mean, everybody's natural reaction is just to hit it flat back up, right? And then you're just going to be able to crush the next one. What are some of the best drills you think for, I noted a couple coming into this, for being able to properly transition that defense into offense? One of them that I thought of was that I use and it helps a ton is just sitting there. Getting reps when you're doing the transition resets is like the number one most important thing. But something that you can do with this drill is resetting and resetting over and over. But if you see an attackable ball, maybe it's a really, really dead ball, you play that live. So I'll try to rip it and then I'm going to come in immediately and try to win that point. That's going to help you put the tide switch into going from defense to offense right away and, really stop playing scared. Is that drill in particular? Any ball that comes like shoulder height and you feel like you can rip it, those are the times to rip it. We always want to be focused on the high margin resets in that part of the game. But as soon as you see one, don't be afraid to rip it and then play through that point and then go charge the net and try to win. Super, super effective. And then another one is what we talked about recently is controlling counters. So me and you will be like playing just head to head, right? We're just straight up. And what we want to do is do a block reset. So you do like 3 speed ups in a row and I'm going to try to counter and reset 3 speed ups just to get the feel down. And then that fourth one, I'm going to be trying to counter it. So that's another really effective one because some people have no idea when to block and reset a speed up versus when to apply that pressure back. So just getting in the rhythm of feeling when to hit what will really help you in situation like moments in a match. Any drills that come top of mind for you for people this side of the game?
I'd say the ones you said are pretty much it. It's just all about like the recognition. The more drills you do of not just hands, but just everything, you're going to recognize I can attack that, I cannot. Oh, I'm behind in this hands battle, I'm behind in that, and then you kind of connect all the dots. It's nothing like you're going to learn without doing the reps. Like if you do the reps, you know what I mean? Like the neurons or whatever in your brain are going to connect. But if not, like it's like me trying to figure out lacrosse and have the IQ for it when I have no idea what I'm doing. But if I played 500 lacrosse matches, like I'm just going to realize and put it together. It's the exact same thing.
I think that's their answer for any discussion that we have on this pod. It's always going to come down to reps and having mindful reps too, right? There's a difference between, we talked about this in a drilling episode, of drilling effectively where you're actually thinking about your actions and reactions for every shot that you hit versus just hitting the ball and just trying to hit it consistently, right? I mean, obviously that's helpful, but really thinking about what that next ball does, what happens when I go here, why does this work? Constantly ask yourself those questions, work with people around you, try to play with better players. That's only going to make you a better player with all those reps. All right, well said. So, end of episode. We talked recently, a few episodes back, about our favorite cities to play pickleball in, particularly in the U.S. You've done some cool international pickleball travel. You've done Peru. Where else have you played?
Peru, Nicaragua. I think that's it.
Okay.
India.
I've only played in Canada, so if you count Canada as international pickleball, sure, checks the box, I think. But I don't really count it since it's just a drive over here from the US. However, my question for you and for me as well is, if you were to be able to play anywhere in the world and do like a dedicated pickleball trip, where would you go and why? I mean, the sport is growing rapidly outside the US. It's amazing to see. What would be your ideal destination?
Probably Dubai or Bali.
Ooh.
would be the two.
Why? Is the pickleball scene good in those cities? If they are, I didn't know. Or, well, no, I mean, there's two ways to answer this, Tanner. It could be just because it's a fun, lavish vacation to go play, or it's because there's great pickleball. There's two different ways.
Dubai, just the stigma it has, it's really hip and just so futuristic. I would love to go there. They were talking about doing a tournament there, the Indian series that I'm in, but they ended up doing it again in India. And then Bali, I've just always wanted to go. It's cool surfing, fun spot. I mean, as far as pickleball progression, I'm sure none of them are really very progressed yet. You know what I mean?
I feel like Dubai might be. I feel like Bali would probably be a little bit more behind, but I know the growth in Southeast Asia is just insane. Right. Speaking of that, I'm trying to work on getting us a trip there. So me and you,
I'm in.
It's my one way to play a tournament together. It's going to be taking you to Asia. Okay, great. So that's on the record. No matter what tournament we play internationally, we're partners. Can't wait. What's interesting is the top countries by total duper users are number 1, US, number 2, Canada, number 3, Malaysia, number 4, Vietnam, and 5, Australia. And then the fastest growing countries per year in pickleball is 1, South Korea, which is interesting. I didn't expect that. 2, Malaysia, 3, Vietnam, and then Ireland and India. And then you're talking about pickleball India and some events there, which is awesome. And then the top cities by number of duper users. This is the craziest one. I think I might have mentioned this before. Number 1 is Austin, Texas, which makes sense. But number 2 was Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Malaysia is just blowing up. It's not a big country, but it's just like their pickleball scene is ginormous. So their pickleball per capita number is probably just off the charts. I bet it's probably number 1. So that's why I want to play there. I want to go to either Malaysia or Vietnam. I've just seen the growth there, the tournaments, the hype. The scene looks incredible. So I think that's what we're going to make happen, Tanner. I'm manifesting it.
When is it happening?
I don't know. Probably 2026 sometime if we're lucky. I got to know your schedule though. We'll figure it out.
Let's get it for next month.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll be really easy to coordinate. I mean, I don't even know the seasons over there with humidity and monsoons, and I got to figure all that out. But we'll make it happen. I can't wait. For any of our listeners there, either in Malaysia or Vietnam or anywhere in Southeast Asia, please hit us up. Let us know the best places to play, best clubs to go to. We'd love to meet you there and get some matches in as well. So that would be incredible. All right, Tanner. Can't wait to play with you over there. It's going to be a blast.
See ya.
See you, man.